Hello guys. I wanted to do a body comp update for you. Sorry, I have serum under my eyes. I'm really bruised. Thanks to my son. He thinks he's just so active now. He uses me to there's another one. He uses me to pull up and catch himself and walk, so that's that. But I just wanted to sit down real quick and do a little body update, how my fitness goals are going for the year and stuff's been going postpartum, stuff like that. And then I can share a little bit about my fitness journey with you guys. But I wanted to give you like a body update, and sadly I didn't do this like a before video, so I'll try to just put some pictures in so you can kind of see progress. I'm trying to do it slow, so it's nothing like too crazy, but it's just where I'm at right now. So this is me like on an everyday basis. I wear pretty much this in mom life. It's just easy for moving around with an active baby, but you're on the floor a lot. So with my high-waisted, I'm trying to see, okay, I think y'all can see. My high-waisted pants, you know, sucks things in. Doesn't look too bad. And then these are like my arms right now. Starting to get a little shape back, not quite where I was before. My shoulders are starting to develop, which if you know anything about me, my traps are coming up a little bit. You know that shoulders are like my favorite, and traps. So if I pull my high waist down, this is where I'm sitting. I still have quite a bit of love handle. You know, hips are definitely like the hardest thing for me in this area. This is something even before pregnancy that I always struggled with because of endometriosis. I just bloat really easily. It's one of the top symptoms. So that's been my biggest struggle. And for my pregnancy, I carried a lot of fat right here in my hips. And with all the IVF hormones, it's where you carry a lot of it. I'm wearing black, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I'm slowly getting some quad definition back, and the booty's about the same. If anything, it's just lifted up a little bit, which you can tell more when in my actual pictures, but it's that. And then I'll try to show you my back. It's so awkward. This is kind of where my back is sitting. Try to get a good angle. Anyways, so just a quick story on my fitness journey and where I began, and I'll put some pictures up. So I'll start with when we got married, probably right here. And then here's a picture of me, IVF time, picture of pregnancy, end of pregnancy, and beginning of 2020 when I got really serious about this again. Okay, so there's some pictures. But in college is when I really started working out. So how long has that been? It's been 5 years since I graduated. College is about 4 years, so I'm not gonna say 9 years because I didn't do that much my freshman year. So we'll say 8 years. I've been lifting. Well, I started doing a ton of cardio. That's what my roommate at the time was doing. She was just like a big runner. So I was like, okay, I've never had weight issues, but this seems like a good place to start to just make sure I stay healthy during college. Well, I started following some accounts when Instagram first came out and decided that I wanted to start lifting. So I started lifting, and I was pretty much all of college like a psycho about it. But I was also really restrictive in my eating. I thought to be skinny but also have curves, which, side note, I've never had a butt like until a couple years ago. My family, like, it was kind of the joke of our family how little my butt was. I've always had a flat butt. but I would get so upset because I would put in hours with weights at the gym and never see really that many results. I mean, I was just skinny. I never really got curves or too much muscle. And it's because I just didn't like to eat. I restricted myself to like a max of 1,200 calories a day. And most of the time I tried to only eat 1,000. And that was with me working out anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day. So a lot of times I would lift weights for like 2 hours and then do an hour of cardio on top of that, like every single day. It's just, in college, like I went out every now and then, but that wasn't, I don't know, really my thing. And I finally felt like I was good at something. Like I never was a coordinated kid, so sports weren't my thing. So in college, I kind of found weightlifting and I just really fell in love with it. And it was something fun for me and one of my best friends to do together. And yeah, fast forward, I got married. I am 5'5", and when I graduated college and got married, I only weighed 110 pounds. I normally don't like to talk about the actual weight number, but I just feel like it's perspective. So I was very underweight. I remember I wasn't even allowed to donate blood at one point because I just didn't weigh enough and they didn't want me to pass out. But I thought that was like a good thing. When people told me I was too skinny, it kind of pushed me further. But then after about a year of being married, the big track your macros thing came out and, or was getting popular. And I was still lifting at this point, but I had put on about 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds. So I was like 120, 125 at this point. And I was actually like getting results from all my lifting. I wasn't doing cardio as much, but I was getting results from my lifting and like just getting some shape and muscle. And that was really exciting to me. So, so when we got married, I gained about 10 to 15 pounds. I was around 120 to 125 is where I fluctuated. And I just pretty much maintained and stayed there. And honestly, like I got to 130 when I started to get a little unmotivated and we really started to try to have a baby. And I thought it was the end of the world. And looking back on pictures, it's probably the healthiest I've actually ever looked, but I couldn't see that then. So that just proves that like the number on the scale and how we see ourselves in a moment isn't always how we really look to others or a depiction of how healthy we really are. When I thought I was the healthiest, 110, woohoo, like I really did not look that great. I did not look that well. And when I thought it was the end of the world was really when I felt my best. I had muscle and food was like my friend again instead of something I feared eating. So then I would say the first year we started trying to have a baby, it's kind of when things got a little hairy. I was just tired all the time because of hormones and it just didn't feel good. And you know, you're not always gonna have direct motivation for things, and I changed jobs and just a bunch of stuff, excuses, you know. I got up to 145 during this time. This was probably 2 to 3 years after we got married. I don't know, time doesn't really matter at this point. 145, and that was when I realized I was really, really unhappy with where I was going and how I looked. And I couldn't lose weight. I was working out like crazy. I was restricting my diet, but my hormones were just so out of whack with treatment and endometriosis. I started going to see like doctors and nutritionists to help me lose weight and to give me energy. So I just felt so bad all the time. But little did I know, this was just the beginning of gaining weight and how I was gonna feel for the next couple of years with trying to conceive and everything. So then we fast forward, we had to start the IVF process. So I started that at like 145 pounds, and throughout IUIs and IVF with the Clomid and other hormones and then the IVF hormones, I got up to 155, so that's another 10 pounds. So at this point, I really am a good 25, 30 pounds to where I'm really comfortable away from where I'm really comfortable at by the time we get pregnant with IVF. So I started off my pregnancy at 155 and I gained 25 pounds. So I got up, it wasn't quite 25 pounds. I was literally right below 180, which y'all, when you get pregnant and you see these numbers, if you have a problem with like weight and stuff and just kind of like body image like I do, seeing that number is harmful. I would go to the doctor, and when they weigh you at every single doctor's appointment when you're pregnant, and for those of you that don't know, I had a very complicating pregnancy, so I went to the doctor at least 2 to 3 times a month, and then it turned into once a week, and then it turned into 2 times a week. So I would just turn my back to the scale until the very end of pregnancy, because I just didn't want to see it. I told my doctor if I needed to be concerned about my weight gain, then tell me, but they were never concerned. He said I gained weight very slowly and right with where they would want me to be, so that was nice. But I didn't get to work out during pregnancy because of my complications. Every time I'd get lifted from exercise restriction, I'd get put right back on it. I'd only last like 2 weeks and then I'd be back on exercise restriction. Then had Knox, had a C-section. You can't work out for 6 weeks. And then at that point, your stomach muscles are still sore and things are kind of sorting themselves out. But I started lifting again. Broke my foot while I was pregnant with Knox and didn't do anything about it. So after about, I think Knox was 6 weeks maybe. It was right about the time I got told I could work out again from the C-section. And I remember trying to work out and my foot hurt so bad. And I remember the exact moment I broke it, but I was just stubborn and I was like, yeah, it's fine, this foot, I've broken this foot so many times. So I went to the doctor and it was so broken. And I got put in a boot for 6 weeks, went back, had the x-ray redone, had to wear it another 6 weeks. So I was still able to do some workouts. Like I was able to do a lot of upper body stuff and I could do leg things that were stable, but I couldn't do it like, a lot of intense stuff that would get my heart rate up and help me lose weight. So that was more restriction. And then finally, I was able to exercise again, I think come like September-ish. Somewhere around there. Worked out a little bit here and there, just could not get like back into the groove of things. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was working out at home. I've learned that I just need to get out of the house to be motivated with working out. Then I got pregnant again in October, and if you've ever been pregnant, you know that first trimester energy is ruthless. Like you have none, you're a zombie. And then on top of that, I was raising a 6-month-old at the time, so I just didn't have any energy, and was pregnant, was working out some, and then we miscarried on Christmas Day, and that was just a very painful process and tiring and exhausting, and I just needed to mentally heal from that. And so the day after we miscarried, I told myself I was giving myself till the new year, and then I was gonna make this year about me and my health and my fitness journey so I could get back to where I was a couple years ago when I felt really good about myself, when I worked out all the time, when I had learned to eat healthy, and when I've been in love with fitness since college, but at this point in my life when I was at my healthiest, I had really fallen in love with it because of food. Like I was eating right and feeding myself, and so I told myself this is going to be the year of me getting back into that and taking care of myself. And I'm sorry I'm getting long-winded. It's just kind of a story. So I decided to sign up for the Katy Hearn challenge. I did one of her challenges years ago, but I didn't do a coached one just because I didn't really need it. I had my own personal training certification and I had just been working out for a long time, so I was like, I don't need a coach. But this go round, I did get a coach because I just knew if I paid for the amount that the coach was, that I would be seriously committed. Because when you have to sacrifice something for something else, it's gonna make you committed. Like, I can't remember the statistics on it, but there is one. So when there's a monetary number on it that you've spent, you're more likely to stay committed to it, which is true for me. So Nick and I looked at our budget, we worked it in, and I committed, and it didn't start until January 11th. So I think it was January 11th. I gave my body time to heal from the miscarriage for those 3 weeks, and got started, and this is where I've been. So before this plan started, I had gotten down from my top pregnancy weight of 180 down to 159. And so I started this fitness journey at 159. I am now at 150, which means I'm 5 pounds away from my pre-IVF weight. So I've reached my pre-pregnancy weight. Now I'm into like the weight I gained from IVF. I've only got 5 pounds to go for that, and then I'll be back at just like my weight gain that I did to myself. And so I've got about, if I'm at 150 and I want to get down to 135, I've got like 15 pounds left, which is probably gonna be the hardest. For those of you that don't know, like the last little bit of weight loss is always the hardest. That last 5 to 10 pounds can be a real bitch. Yeah. So that's where I'm at, and here is the beginning of the challenge. Here's the halfway point. We are now on week 5. And this is the progress I made, and I will do a video reviewing the Katy Hearn challenge because I do have thoughts on that, but that's just a whole nother video. But so far, so good. And yeah, I thank you if you watched this and took the time to listen to my fitness story. Thank you, and I just want you to know that wherever you are with your health and your body, like, truly love yourself in the moment and give yourself grace and take your time working towards it. Like, I have a 9-month-old, and it takes 9 months to grow a human, and I'm just now back at like my pre-pregnancy weight. So it literally took me 9 months, which is what a good, slow, moderate thing should be. So yeah, give yourself some grace, love yourself, which is so much easier said than done. I tell people this all the time, and I don't practice it myself. I'm very hard on myself. It's a huge body image issue that I've been working on. This is where I'm at, and I really appreciate you listening. If you would, please like this video and subscribe, and I can't wait to give you guys more updates on the journey. Thanks.